I'm Doodle Noodle, and today I'm gonna be telling you a little confession that I have. So a lot of people think that being an artist, it's pretty easy. It's kind of, it's kind of a lazy job and it doesn't make that much, so it's not really worth it, right? It's just a hobby, people just do it for fun, it's all fun and games, right? Well, I'm here to tell you why that's not always true. Yes, art is a fun thing that a lot of people like to do. I like to do it. But there are some things that people don't really tell you about it that kind of make it not all fun and games. And there is a lot of hard work that goes into it. And this is exactly why art is expensive. And don't ask someone to make you art for free unless they offer to do it for free, because it's a lot of work and it can have a toll on some people. So the first thing that people don't tell you about being an artist is that your back hurts a lot when you are drawing or painting or whatever. Your back hurts a lot. I'm like 500% sure if you did nothing but art for most of your life, then you'd probably have a little hump in your back, because it's really bad. The back problems that come along with being an artist are just painful, because for pretty much the whole time you're hunched over like this in a weird position doing your little thing. So then it hurts a lot. I can vouch for this because I paint and draw for hours at a time and my back hurts a lot from it. But the way that you can combat this is just make sure you're taking breaks every couple hours or so. Whenever your back starts to really bug you, just go lay on the couch or something and then take a quick walk around and then go back to what you were doing. Just don't do it for too long, otherwise you'll probably have some lasting issues. The second thing that people don't tell you about is how few materials you actually need to be an artist. People make it seem sometimes like you need a lot of materials and it's super expensive, and it is super expensive, but you don't need that much to be a pretty professional artist. Quick disclaimer, this is really just for traditional sketching and art and stuff. It's not really for stuff like painting and sculpting, because for that you do need quite a bit of stuff, but for just pretty basic stuff, a lot of professional artists just really need a pencil and a sketch pad, which is about what I'm about to get into. So yeah, for the most part you don't need much, but for some specific art forms you do. Actually, hold on a sec. Okay, so last year I took an art class. Here's some pictures of some of the stuff that I made in that class. Alright, now this was all the materials that were required for me to have in this class. I'm gonna quickly separate for you everything that I felt was actually necessary for the class. I did use almost all these things, but I could have definitely gotten by with only a few of them. You know what's really sad? This is everything I selected. 4 items. You wanna know what these 4 items are? A charcoal stick. This is just a plain charcoal stick, by the way, nothing fancy. I can't do anything, right? A tortillon, I don't know how to pronounce it. A blending stick, basically. Just one. A 2B pencil. And an eraser. This is a fancy mechanical eraser. It buzzes and it spins, and it's really useful actually. If you're an artist, I would totally recommend getting one of these, but that's not the point. You don't need one of these, just a normal eraser will do. With the pencil, it's nice to have a set of a bunch of different kinds, but really you only need a 2B one. Yeah, and that's about it. And everything that I had a bunch of different kinds and sizes of charcoal, a giant set of pencils, and like some other fancy erasers and fancy pencils and just like sticks of lead. A lot of stuff that's very expensive that I didn't even really need. Yes, I used most of it, but I didn't need it that much. If I was gonna make most of the stuff that I made in that class, this is really all you need. I've got freaking charcoal all over my face. If you work with charcoal, how are you not like dusty all the time? So annoying. It's gonna be there for the whole video now. The next thing that no one really tells you about until you get like really into art and stuff is how many different kinds of art there are and how much stuff is considered art. Oh, my hands are black now too. They're gonna be like that forever. Nice. Like there's so many different kinds, and not just like different styles of drawing, because there's that too. But also, like, there's so many different things you can do. There's, like, scrapbooking, there's drawing, there's painting, there's sculpting, there's carving, there's music, there's charcoal, there's realism, there's all these different kinds of things. And within those, there's all these different subcategories that you can do. And it's so diverse. Like, honestly, art is such a diverse thing. Like, it's just, there's so many different things. There's stuff for every kind of person. And most people just tell you about, like, traditional art being, like, either painting still lifes or sketching. It's like, no, there's so much more. There's digital, so there's clay, carving, scrapbooking, all the things that I mentioned before. There's so much, and there's so many different kinds of things you can do. It is not at all limited. Art is such an unlimited thing. Like, there's so many possibilities. So don't let someone tell you that it's only like drawing and painting, because it's not. The next thing that no one tells you about being an artist is how messy it is. You've already seen an example of this in this video because now my entire face and hands are covered in charcoal dust. But let me take you somewhere very special. Let me show you my art table. This is where I draw and paint and color and do all my things. Look how much stuff there is. It's freaking everywhere. Like, what is this? You don't want to know how much my parents nag at me for that. And like, I've got stuff on the floor. This table that I'm actually filming on right now has stuff all over it. It's very messy. And this whole room is like just full of art supplies. Like, there is a lot of stuff. Art is messy and it takes up a lot of space. Like, almost every artist that I know has a designated art room or an art space at the very least. Like, you can't usually, unless you're just like the very basic sketcher who just has like a pencil and eraser and a notebook, you need like some space to store all your stuff and have your big mess. Like, it's a lot. Unless you're exclusively digital or exclusively basic sketching, you're gonna have a lot of stuff, you're gonna have a big mess. You're probably gonna need a whole room, or at least a whole section of a room, to be designated to just your art stuff and storage and doing the art stuff. It does, of course, kind of depend on how organized you are, but in my experience, most artists are kind of messy anyways, which doesn't help that much. So then, like, just have so much out at a time. It's very messy. It's not like all the Pinterest boards where they've got this nice little one desk that is all organized with the little mason jars and the little containers and baskets, and you just keep it all in one space and you draw a little picture and then you put it all away. It's not like that at all. For most people, at least. The next thing that no one really talks about that much to like new artists and like I don't think they talk about it in art school. I've never been to art school, but like in art classes and stuff, they don't talk about burnout and like artist's block. Like it can be really hard to get inspiration for stuff, and people kind of just like, when you say, oh, I'm an artist, or like I'm a professional artist or whatever, people kind of expect that you're just like throwing out projects willy-nilly. But not really. Most of what I do is just color in coloring books and paint stuff pastel rainbow because I can't think of anything else to do. Recently I've been painting a lot of bookmarks and stuff, which is kind of fun. But that was just like a random burst of inspiration that I got. And before that, I hadn't really had any ideas for new projects at all for weeks. You can go for a very long period of time without knowing anything to make. No matter like what kind of artist you are, whether you're a writer or a traditional artist or a music artist, like whatever, it's hard to come up with stuff to make, and that's okay. Honestly, like if you can't think of any inspiration, there's nothing wrong with you. You're very much normal. In fact, I'd say the abnormal ones are the people who are constantly thinking of stuff to make. I don't think I've ever met an artist who doesn't have burnout or artist block a lot. Not that there's anything wrong with either one, but burnout and artist block is a huge thing that not many people talk about in art classes and stuff. So that's a few things that you should consider and think about when becoming an artist, and if you're interested in art at all. And even if you're not, if you have any artist friends, these are things that they probably deal with a lot that you've probably never heard of, based on the usual stereotypes and expectations for most artists. So yeah, if you relate to any of these, then please comment down below, or if you have any other ones that I didn't mention, then also comment those. I would love to hear about your stuff, your experiences as an artist. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed this video so that I know that you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you would like to see any more videos by me. Comment down below if you have any other video suggestions. I will see you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.